Good morning, Breitbart. We are here bright and early in my home state of Minnesota in the town of Bemidji. It is a brisk 39 degrees and people here are excited. For hours from now, President Donald Trump will be here having a campaign event, something that he's labeled as a peaceful protest in the past. People here are ready to peacefully protest. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're excited, you want to share the stream, you want to be on the stream, make sure to follow all of our social media, like and share this video, and we're going to be going live multiple times during the day, hopefully tonight, for that rally. But for now, we're going to talk to some people in line, see why they're here so early in the cold, and see why they support Trump. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, it was mine.
Awesome.
Yeah, Gabe would have been like, yes.
They asked for a picture of the deal.
And then we're going to wait there all.
So the situation here is that they're actually shuttling people across town to go to the airport here. So people are waiting in line to shuttle over.
During the speech, he didn't have a watch on. He didn't have
So we are here with a couple of Trump supporters. If you could, so are you live here in Minnesota? Where are you from?
Here in Bemidji.
Here in Bemidji, and what is your name, ma'am?
Marcia Ness.
Marcia Ness, awesome. So why do you support Trump? Why are you here so early?
I support Trump because he's actually doing what I wanted in a president. He's kept all of his promises.
And what are some of those promises that you felt very strongly about?
The border,
Yeah.
keep doing the border wall.
Now, how do you feel about the Joe Biden candidate? How do you think he's doing?
I don't really think he's doing all that great. I see more Trump signs than I do Biden.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us today. We very much appreciate it.
Yep, not a problem. Hi.
Thank you.
Great.
You gotta show our shirt. You gotta show our shirt.
Listen to it.
Well, it's the same thing as yours.
Nice. Breitbart News. Thank you.
Yeah, that was on the agenda.
Yeah,
It
just
was
come
beautiful.
It would just stay on.
Ready for Fergus Wall, Detroit Lake area? Yep, good enough. Oh. I didn't know how it was going to be. I see Andrew's up there. Andrew's up there? Chris Maneke.
Great. So we're joined here bright and early with some more Trump supporters who are very excited. If you guys could tell us where you're from and your names real fast.
Bemidji, Minnesota, Mitch Hill.
Lacey Hill from Bemidji, Minnesota.
Name's Jack, also from Bemidji.
So why are you guys here so early? Why do you guys support Trump?
Why? Because of what he's done for the country and his numbers. I mean, second to none, probably the best presidents we've ever had. Just because of the stuff that he's done for our veterans, and I stand by those guys through and through, and the blue line, and what he's done to the economy and for the people. And he doesn't get enough credit for what he does, really. And point and blank, he's the best president we've had in a long time. He's a man of his word.
And how about you two? Why do you guys support President Trump?
The man's got guts. He's not a politician. You look at what the country would be like without him and the opposition that he's facing. So thank God we've got someone there who's willing to stand up and fight for the things that real America believes in. And we had to get here early because it's a hot ticket. you
Yeah,
know?
especially in the small town of Bemidji, Minnesota.
Yep.
I mean, we're the central hub of northern Minnesota, and I don't know that any other president before this even thought about Bemidji, Minnesota, or northern Minnesota, that the forgotten voice up here. The workers, the blue collar, white collar, everybody that has a voice is now being heard. And that's why we love this president.
Now, you mentioned the blue line and your support for that. I just want to get your guys' thoughts. We're seeing a lot of violence in all of these cities, and
Yep.
especially down in Minneapolis. What are your thoughts on this movement that's happening from those?
I think they have a right to a voice. I mean, everybody does. And, I don't think that one apple should spoil the rest of the batch, So I think that the police need to have a little break because they are here to protect and serve us. And just because one does something wrong doesn't mean all of them are, because I know them. I've went to school with them. I grew up with them. And they're not bad people because of a few that made bad choices. And I don't stand for what they did, but I do stand behind the blue line because they do. They give up everything just to protect their people. So
I think we all can agree that if there's police brutality, if there is, like you said, a cop who did something wrong, we all stand against that. There should be prosecution. But cross the line when you try to paint with a broad brush and say that all of these police are like that. Everyone knows that's not the case. And for the media to act like it's all peaceful protesting when there's more damage done than any other protest in history from the insurance payouts, I mean, the news needs to cover it accurately, and that's why we're glad there's people like you out there. Truth.
So, do you guys believe that A, Trump has a bigger silent majority this year around, and B, is there a possibility of flipping Minnesota from blue to red?
absolutely.
Yeah,
I think this year, 2016 woke up, the left side, and they realized that they have their work cut out for them. And I think that the people that were working weren't able to get off work. For instance, one year I had election season, I had to work out in Duluth, and I couldn't get off early enough to go vote. So there went my voice. So at the end of the day,
start singing the national anthem. We're gonna get everybody singing the national anthem. We got the flag right there. Okay. So once you get the cue, we'll all start singing.
awesome. Okay. So yeah, I think this year, I think there's a very good chance. I think there's a 90% plus probability that it's going to go red. And it's, I talk to a lot of conservatives and a lot of, left side, and quite frankly, a lot of them are going to vote Trump because of the way the left has been, the radicalism that, like he mentioned earlier, about how they're allowing stuff to happen and then they ask for someone else to pay for what they allowed to happen. The mayor of Minneapolis, for crying out loud, was out there. What a disgrace to this town, this whole state. That's not what we stand for. I mean, everybody works and pays for what they got. And so when someone comes in and trashes it and they have a leader like him and our governor to protect them, it's not good.
I think a combination of the riots and combined with what the economy had been before coronavirus, and then the lockdowns that the governor imposed on the state, shutting down business, when the impact, of course, people have died. We don't dispute that. There is a virus, but it's been overblown. The president's doing everything he can. I think the people see that. I think they want the economy to get back to where it was. And for those reasons, and then the not backing the police, I think that really turns a lot of people off. And then from the left and obviously the right supports the police. So I think for those reasons, yeah, I think we will carry Minnesota. It was so close last time, and I think thousands more people are going to show up this time around.
So how has COVID affected northern Minnesota? Because I know it's a very resort place. People come up here for the lakes during the summertime, and COVID has affected since March up until who knows when it'll officially end. How is that? How have you guys seen it's been affecting up here?
I guess I haven't really seen the numbers that they talk about because I don't get to meet the people or see the results or even believe the results they release. But I mean, for instance, you go to South Dakota, like we vacationed at, and their numbers are down throughout the nation, and coming back from there just fine, nobody with any kind of symptoms or anything. So I don't know if it's something that's propped up to be something it's really not, to kind of scare people into losing their constitutional rights and stuff like that. I think their overreach is the main takeaway from COVID. And I think it's real, but I just don't think that it's being fairly portrayed to the American people, myself.
Small businesses have been affected here, especially restaurant owners I know, forced to shut down for months on end. They've got everybody out in the street eating now, limited to 25% capacity. Nobody's going to the bars, which is understandable, but these people, they can't go on like that for that long. How are they supposed to pay their own bills, keep the place open, keep people employed? So, I mean, and that just has a ripple effect, not only on the restaurants, but like you said, tourism, people coming to the hotels. It's a massive impact. And
they allow Walmart and Target and all those guys to be open, I think that speaks volumes as to who's their main objectives are.
Look at the number of cases. We have like 2 a day, 10. We have like 3 deaths. I mean, it seems like overkill. Sing this national anthem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what's the family we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets among thirsting air, they proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Good job, guys.
My last name possibly.
Yeah.
Oh, you did it.
So what's your thoughts on it?
It's on our side.
Yeah. Or,
But it ain't gonna, it's not gonna help.
And I don't know if it was from our wedding or someone else's, but my mom converted it into an ice skating dress for her. Yeah. So she cut it off short and then, put like the kept the waistline here and then put it down, put like the leotard in. And it was a really pretty dress.
Awesome. So if you're just joining us live, I'm Allie J. Nikolai. Behind the camera is the wonderful Matthew Purdy. We are live here for Breitbart News in Bemidji, Minnesota, where later tonight Trump will be addressing the crowds here that have already started forming lines at around earlier than 9 o'clock in about 35-degree weather. It will get a little bit warmer, but people are out here and ready to hop on over. We got the lines here. They're going to start busing people over to the airport hangar, and we're going to start lining up there as well. But we're going to continue down the line and talk to some more people about why they're here. I don't know.
Please stay on Breitbart. Oh my goodness. Why are they doing?
See, they're spraying again.
Trump.
Are you the real news or fake news?
He's
Strong?
Breitbart.
I've never heard. Oh,
He's Breitbart.
Breitbart, strong.
Breitbart,
Breitbart.
Yay, Breitbart.
Breitbart's in the house.
Go, Andrew Breitbart. All hail, Andrew Breitbart.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Trump train! Oh, I love that. Oh yeah, that's for sure. So we have more passionate Trump supporters out here today that we are going to talk to. If you guys could just tell us your names and where you guys are from.
I'm Amanda. I'm from Burnsville, so right outside the cities.
I'm Chris from Duluth.
Awesome. And so, why are you guys here today? Why do you guys support President Trump so much?
Everything. I support the economy. He helps literally every single community that there is out there. And honestly, I love his blunt and honest nature. I'm just going to be honest there.
So I'm actually an ex-Democrat, and one of the things that I found was really the community that support Trump, and I find that they're so welcoming, and I find that the messages that Trump sends to the community to be so much more positive than what is given on the left, which is, as Trump says, is all doom and gloom.
Anybody expedited?
Now, I want to know the story more about the sign here that you have, if you could. Tell us a little bit more about what it means and the story behind it.
Sure. So Trump is the most pro-LGBT president that we've ever had. He supported same-sex marriage before he became president, as well as still now. I mean, he appointed Richard Grenell, the highest openly gay man to office. He's the only president to want to try to work with world leaders to decriminalize homosexuality, where, in countries they are killed or jailed for being attracted to the same sex. So yeah, thankfully I've always been a conservative. I've always held this view. There's none. I agree with all of President Trump's policies. Let's just say that. There's not one policy that I don't disagree with.
So when I became an ex-Democrat and I joined the MAGA group on Facebook, I was floored by how big of an LGBT community there is on the conservative side. Like, no one talks about it. No one says, oh, there's an LGBT group that is conservative on the left. You hear that the left's view of LGBT is the only view and there's nothing else, and that's not the case. And it's like your social groups, your sexuality, your race, it does not dictate your political views.
Now, I'm very curious, what do you guys think of candidate Biden and how that campaign is going?
Joke. I'm just gonna be honest there. A guy doesn't even know what he's talking about half the time. I just saw that he waved to an empty field of clouds. I mean, he doesn't know what state he's in, can't complete his sentences. He's just a puppet for the left. He literally is. That's the only reason he's there. He's going to listen to whatever the radicals have to say and do. He just wants the vote. So that's what I feel about him. But the reason why I like to make these signs for Trump rallies is sometimes you gotta throw fire with fire, where, the left loves identity politics. I've always heard people like me don't exist, or I'm self-hating, but here I am. I'm a conservative and I'm part of the LGBT community on the right.
So, but it's funny because in the past I would have been perfectly fine with voting for Peter Buttigieg, but then Sanders dropped out, and they started really pushing for Biden, and I found that morally I could not vote for this man. There were some very serious charges against him, and I cannot vote for that. I cannot go against my morals or my Christian values, and I was attacked for that. So I knew from the start that I couldn't vote for him, and I wouldn't vote for him. And people pushing me only pushed me to just be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm leaving the Democrat Party. I don't like him. He was a very ineffective vice president. He was very inappropriate multiple times during the Obama administration. He was very aggressive in his speeches, and he just kind of floundered about. And Obama was there to kind of smooth over his mistakes. So no, I don't like him.
Well, thank you guys so much for talking to us today. We very much appreciate your time and hope you guys have a safe and fun rally. So thank you.
Thank you.
For interviewing
Oh,
us.
absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Breitbart. Breitbart.
We got him too. Photo bombing, yes. I only have one hand here. I'm sorry. There we go. Thanks. There. Big luck.
Oh, sorry.
We're on camera. Okay, all right, thank you.
Go Breitbart. Say go Breitbart. Lucky on this. Say go Breitbart. See it right in your head, Ken. Yeah, no, say it to the camera.
If you're
You're
sitting
gonna be a
on
star.
there, you better
You're
get
gonna be a star.
away.
Say go Breitbart. That's what you call real news. I recognize you. I've seen you on, where have I seen you? Alex Jones?
Hard news.
They said they're going to start voting at 10:30. Well, they had said earlier they'd said 10. So we're getting closer anyway.
Well, you'll have to know.
We met Donald Trump and LBJ.
If we talk to you guys?
Yeah, sure. We'll talk to this fella. Go ahead, Duke. The camera's going to talk to you. Come on. Don't be shy. You're not shy at home. He's the most unshy guy around.
It's nice to see real news here.
Yeah, real news. Wow.
So why are you guys?
What would we have? Really? That's all I watch.
So why are you guys here so early? What compels you to just be here and to support Trump?
Make sure we get in.
Right.
And I brought my daughter. I pulled her out of school. This is something that not many people get to do.
Third rally for me. It's a life-changing experience. North Dakota. I drove to Duluth. I drove to Fargo. Drive here. It's anybody who's never been to a Trump rally. If you have to fly to get there, go. Greatest man, greatest president ever.
So you will need to.
What are some of the policies that you've just been very impressed about with President Trump?
This is not a nation.
If you plan to vote early,
Shipping our factories to China.
otherwise once
Thank you, Joe Biden.
and mail starts coming to your new address.
So yeah, Trump has nailed it on every issue, and he has total guts, and he's put it all out there. He didn't have to do any of this. He's risking himself every day. When he flies in here today, he's at risk because all these crazies are out there.
The peace deals that he's doing around the world right now, it drives me mad to see nobody on the news will cover it. You know, that's why it's nice to see you guys here.
You know when you got the Nobel Peace Prize nominations?
Twice now.
Yeah, 2 of them. Guess how many minutes the lamestream media spent covering it? 0.0. Okay. That's not news.
How do you guys feel about the media bias when covering Biden and Trump? I mean, even the questions, if you guys watched the town hall last night or the one with President Trump, just kind of comparing, what do you guys think of that?
It's complete BS, to be honest with you, because I've known it for years. You can see it just in the way they report everything. I mean, they don't want the American people to know the truth of what's going on. Same with the 2016 election. You know, right up to election night, Hillary was leading in the polls, and all of a sudden you see everybody losing their minds because she lost. You know, they don't report on the truth.
You are reporters and journalists. These other people, Chris Cuomo, Anderson Cooper, they're just complete frauds. Complete frauds. Totally dishonest.
They just sit there and read the teleprompter. That's all they do. That's all they know. They won't reveal the truth to anybody.
So, do you guys believe some of these polls that say that Biden is really far ahead?
Absolutely not.
No chance.
I'm going to be real curious what the attendance is at his. It's not. I think we've already got more than Biden's going to have.
They are hiring people to go to his and get paid $15 an hour. It's nope.
Don't have to pay us to come see Trump.
No. But hey, we're just rocks and cows, right?
Right. Tim Walz.
And 19-year-old cooks.
Oh yeah.
Wow. And I mean, with the polls, do you believe that there's a possibility Minnesota will flip red?
I think we will. I think we've had it with our liberal governor and mayor and what they've done to our state, and all the people that have lost their businesses because they shut them down for no good reason. They're not going to be voting Democrat. I think they're going to be shaken to their senses by what they've been put through by the Democrats. And even the people that say they didn't want any police, now that there's all these gunshots going off. I saw this woman on the news the other night and saying, "Where are you? We need your help. Where are you? We voted for you. Where are you?" And so I think they're realizing that the Democrats aren't there for them when they're needed, and that Trump is. And hopefully they know that, you know, it's not only the president, we got to get Republicans in.
It starts at our local government.
Everywhere, because with as much as Trump got done with the Democrats fighting him every step of the way, we give him people who are going to work with him, and he's really going to go to town.
It starts in the school system, honestly, because as far down as the school boards, because if you're a teacher, in my opinion, if any one of your students knows your political affiliation, you should not be teaching.
So what is your opinion? Trump signed a commissioner starting this 1776 commission to kind of combat this new education idea of the 1619 project. What are your thoughts on him wanting to go into the schools and make sure that there's patriotic history being taught?
I think it's vital that the children learn about the actual history, because, I mean, there's multiple famous speakers throughout history that have said it time and again, those who fail to learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. You know, and
I love your hat. Make liberals cry again.
Again.
Yes.
Yeah, they did it in 2016, they'll do it again this year.
Yes, they will.
And Joe Biden, good campaign, bad campaign. How about Kamala Harris? What are your guys' thoughts on her? Because there was a poll that came out, you know, a couple weeks or a couple months ago that say that more than 50% of people believe Joe Biden won't make it through his first term. What are your concerns for the possibility of a Kamala Harris presidency?
I don't know if he's going to make it to his first day when you listen to him. I mean, he seems like he's got some real dementia going on there, and if I was his family, I wouldn't even be allowing him. I mean, or I would do all within my power to talk him out of it, because the stress of running for president, in addition to his obvious cognitive decline can't be good for them, and I can't believe they're even allowing him to go through this. It's just so obvious that he really does not have any business running a country. I don't know if he could run his household. What would happen if his wife died? He'd probably have to go to an old folks home because I don't know if he could take care of himself. So how's he going to take care of the country?
What are your guys' thoughts on the Kamala Harris?
I don't honestly think we have to worry about it because I don't foresee them winning. But in the event they did, I would look to see Biden removed due to health conditions probably within the first 3 to 5 months. And then we'd essentially have a narcissist on our hands.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for chatting with us today.
Absolutely.
We hope
Thank
you guys
for
being Breitbart. We need you.
For being somebody that we can listen to and actually believe what we hear.
we very much.
I was like, yeah, I was cold, so, and I noticed you were like a furnace, so I just decided to get close to you. I'm like, yeah.
We were going to get his picture. Oh, yeah. We want a picture of you.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you mind?
I don't mind. Go ahead.
So, like, we're both estrogen. I was just a lot colder.
Oh, yeah.
Temperatures affect.
All right, guys, let's get in for a selfie. Hold on.
I want to, yeah.
Awesome. I don't know how to do selfies. Brenda, I've never done a selfie. Well, there you go. You're good. Barb, scooch over. Awesome. Thanks.
Yep. Yeah, we could.
Yes, I saw a shoe on it, but she's actually liberal, but she is anti-feminist. She's just like, this is stupid. Like, I'm liberal and I believe in social democracy, but this is
All right, guys, I'm just gonna walk the line a little bit here.
You're scrawny and too body. They're on TV now.
Yeah, we're live.
What?
Yeah, we're live.
Gotta get the back of my sweatshirt.
I think that's the first one, or what?
No, it's the only. It's the best one.
Now they're saying Dave Bowman.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't we talk
And I certainly feel it.
Yeah.
That would be reasonable, but I understand.
Yeah, I probably will. Yep. I heard. I heard.
Yeah.
We'll come interview you guys.
Yeah.
Make it Trump! Make it Trump! Make it Trump! Trump 2020! Trump 2020! Woo!
You yell, bro.
Go Trump, go!
But then I moved here and I get to see.
Awesome. So we have some young Trump supporters out here tonight who are, or this morning, here out in Bemidji, Minnesota. If you guys could just tell us your names and where you guys are from.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Hannah Wolochek. And I'm Ashley Glaza. And we're from Merrill, Wisconsin. We drove 6.5 hours to get here today. Left at midnight, got here at 6:30.
So why, I mean, that's a lot of enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you guys out here? I mean, what is the support for Trump?
We went to the Mosinee rally last night and then had to do a back-to-back rally, of course. Very crucial election. We love Donald Trump. Everything, all of his views, everything. His morals, his policies, you name it, we love it.
So what's the biggest thing you guys love about Donald Trump?
That he's pro-life.
Yeah,
pro-life. That he's the only president in American history to speak at March for Life. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a big deal for us.
So you guys are young. I'm 20, so you guys are just a couple years probably younger than me. What are the reactions and the responses from your friends for the support of Trump? Do you find that they're also on the Trump train?
No. Not really. No. At school, it's rough. No one really. Teachers are all teachers. Yeah. And kids still wear an ICE. I wore an ICE support ICE shirt, and I got blasted on social media. Yep. People take videos of her. Yep. Got called names, worthless, like, it's ridiculous. Disgusting. Yeah.
So what are your guys' thoughts when it comes to social media and the censoring of conservatives? I mean, conservatives are being taken off of a lot of platforms. And I mean, it's happening to famous people now, but it could happen to anyone. What are your thoughts on all of that, on the censoring?
Yeah, Don Jr. was talking about how he got taken off a lot of social media things at his rally. He was just talking about it on Tuesday. And then I don't really care, like, they can post about me. It just motivates me more to push back. So honestly, it doesn't bother me. It's fine. Yeah, they always. In the end, we pick the winning side, and you can go.
What are your guys' thoughts on Joe Biden?
Disgrace. You think I just can't see him running our country. You'd think if he had a way to fix America, he would have done it in the 47 years he had the chance, but I guess he needs another 4 years.
Whatever we want.
Yikes.
Deal with it in the future.
Awesome. Do you guys think Wisconsin and or Minnesota will flip red this November?
I think Wisconsin definitely changed. We see a lot of Trump signs now around our town. Definitely we will. Since over this. Merrill's just small town, but it's definitely going to wipe out Biden. At least by 20 points, yeah. For sure. Yeah. I don't know about Minnesota. I'm not sure about Minnesota. I think he can do it. I think he can do anything. I'm not really worried. Yeah, I'm not worried.
I like it. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for talking with us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, and I'm gonna plow through the line here. How you doing? Hey. So it looks like the line's starting to curl around. All right. It's going past the cars, and it's if I'm looking over the cars from where I'm at, it's going down quite a while before it ends.
Actually, they want to keep them cool and independent.
All right.
Some other people that we don't want to hurt.
Yeah, the one who's down there like this.
I also read my glasses.
What we know that the FBI was doing. The FBI told his
Scrap that.
And then Minneapolis. Yeah, she spent the night with us.
Oh, yeah. So we have some more very dedicated Trump supporters out here this morning in Bemidji, Minnesota. If you guys just could explain to me why you guys are out here so early and why do you guys support Trump so much?
Well, he supports us. We all get to say something. So my sisters and my cousin, and we love what he's done. He's kept every promise. He's just been awesome. And we try to make every rally. We were at Target Field in Minneapolis. That one got a little scary. So it's nice to be here, and we're excited to see him.
And I've been just a major Trump supporter from the very beginning, actually before he even announced his presidency. I was up there in 2016 on bridge rallies, waving flags, and I just love him. Everyone around me knows that. And just fully support him. We go to as many rallies as we can.
Yep. This is just the best days of the year, these Trump rallies. To be around the Trump supporters, people, they're happy, they're genuine, and Donald Trump is the only man that can do what needs to be done to save this country and bring it back to its greatness.
Trump's the man.
Love that.
We're trying to prevent what is happening on the other side, and right now we are praying that everybody votes Republican all the way down the ticket and vote for Donald Trump for a second term on election day, folks. And we're just really happy to be here, and we're willing to stand in line all day, as you can see, just to hear the speech tonight. So we're really excited. Go Trump.
Go Trump.
Yay.
So I just want to get your guys' thoughts. Obviously, there's a lot of violence that is still going on in America's cities, but especially that has happened in Minneapolis. I just want to get your guys' thoughts on the movement behind all the violence and defund the police and all of that that's happening.
George Soros.
George Soros.
I live in Minneapolis, and I hope I can stay there. But all signs are pointing to get out of Dodge. Our taxes will go up so much, and it's just not what it was. And people seem, the longer it goes on, the longer it's a norm. They think it's just okay, and it's not for me.
What are you guys' thoughts on what we saw recently and, in the very recent past as well?
We're not being paid to stand here.
No.
We're standing here out of dedication and love for our country.
The thing that needs to happen, they have got to get behind where the money's coming from. And I'm not afraid to speak the name of George Soros. Apparently it's verboten on certain news stations, but I think we've got Soros, and there's other people that are raising money for these organizations to be able to travel around the country, because I know how much it costs to travel, and this doesn't come cheaply. So
with traveling, Trump has traveled. He was in Wisconsin last night. He's going to be here tonight, and we have every night this weekend he's going to be traveling. Now, Joe Biden hasn't been traveling that much. I just want to get your guys' thoughts on candidate Biden and how he's doing.
The hologram in the basement?
It's pathetic. It's sad what they're doing to that man. You can look in his eyes and see he's not there. And the teleprompter, I hope he mans up and tries to do the debate. I'm thinking he might come down with COVID the day before, but I hope he mans up and does it, and then I hope they zero in on his ear and get the earpiece out, and I would support drug testing for him, because there's no way, I feel bad for him.
What are your guys' thoughts on Biden?
No comment.
It's very sad, and I think it's really bordering on elder abuse, what they're putting that poor man through. He's served his country, whether I agree with his politics or not. He has served his country. He's done his time. Leave him alone. Don't do that to a person just because he's the best shot you think you have to unseat Donald Trump, because you know what? Trump is going to win in a landslide come November 3rd, and we are going to be celebrating.
I really think Mr. Biden is a placeholder for the real agenda. I think a lot of people suspect that they had to put somebody up there that seemed fairly centrist and middle of the road, and I don't see him lasting more than a few months if he were to happen to win. But I agree with her. I think we're going to see a landslide with a lot of controversy in its wake, unfortunately. So hopefully not, but.
With, you guys are very concerned just about Biden's health, and a lot of people have said, there was even a poll that was taken where a majority of people don't believe he's going to make it through his first term. Now, Kamala Harris is his running mate. Are you guys concerned at all for a Harris?
That's what she said.
Right. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that points to anything?
I wake up and just shake my head and go, there's no way anyone could vote for them. An educated person could not vote for that ticket. And I just, instead of arguing with all my family and other people that I know that not this family, but still a couple there. But you know, I personally like to direct them to walk away. I think that's the best campaign because that they can relate to those people because they're there. You know, they're hating everything, they're believing all the press. But I don't know if you really looked at all the news how you would ever vote for that ticket. You look at the economy, what he did, and the report that came out yesterday about the lowest homelessness and poverty rate in the country until, you know, COVID, in quotes, hit. So, I don't know.
Harris polled at less than 5% during the primaries and dropped out fairly early, as I recall. So it's very surprising to me that she would have been chosen as a running mate, which is why I say there's something else going on here, another agenda to have that type of, I mean, her politics are so far left. She's the San Francisco mob, basically, that whole mob that has ruined the state of California. So hopefully the American people will wake up and understand what they are voting for.
He's got a really great, one easy line.
We support Trump because he supports us.
Good job. And a young child. That's awesome to see. I love that.
Now, you mentioned California. Now, there's a little bit of a controversy with Nancy Pelosi. I just want to know your guys' thoughts on the hypocrisy of Nancy going to a hair salon to get her hair done when no other salons were open. What are your thoughts on that hypocrisy coming from them that are pushing so hard for these COVID restrictions?
They are limousine liberals, and it doesn't surprise me at all because they operate this way all the time, like Al Gore building a house on the ocean that was supposed to, the shore was supposed to be underwater at that coastline like 8 years ago, and he builds a huge $8 million house. So yes, Nancy Pelosi got to go to the beauty salon. I had to wait 4 months to even get in with a mask and be isolated to get a haircut. But you know, she's special. So anybody else want to compliment?
It's almost like there's so much hypocrisy. You just can't even believe it. You know. So I don't even. Then there's Lori Lightfoot, is it, in Chicago mayor, who had to get to the salon to keep up that look going. I don't know. I don't understand.
Oh, John?
Good job, here.
So, landslide, is Trump going to turn Minnesota red this November?
If it was an honest election, definitely.
Absolutely. 100%.
100%.
Yes.
And Ilhan Omar would not be there either. We could turn this state around. Good honest election would turn this state around in no time.
We got robbed in 2018. A lot of voter fraud. So.
Are you guys very concerned about the voter fraud, the push for mail-in ballots?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vote on election day.
Yeah, that's what we try to. I wish that word. In fact, I wish President Trump would say that more. You know, I think our vote has a better chance of counting if we go on election day, or 2 days. I don't understand why voting now has become a 3-month deal, and I don't know if we'll know who the president is unless it's a huge landslide. But it's got to be huge. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
To bring our society down. Really?
Don't listen to it, okay? That's not the way to do it.
As you can see, the line is still building.
One point, baby.
But no, we know where we're going to go in 65 or 70.
Tell Janet. She's got a friend that's Australian. Are you in the rally? I think I saw you. I'm shy on camera.
You're just going to donate it?
Yeah, my whole family's back. Yeah, both my mom's side and my dad's side.
Yeah. Yeah.
The press. The good press.
Good. Breitbart.
Yay!
Who is it?
Yes.
Who are you guys? Breitbart News.
Okay.
Go Trump! Wow. So as you can see, I mean, the line is continuing to grow. If you're just joining us, I'm Allie J. Nikolai. We have the wonderful Matthew Purdy behind the camera. We are live here in Bemidji, Minnesota. Bright and early and nice and crisp. It is a cold September morning. We have a line here already forming for the Trump rally tonight at 7 p.m. Central. And we have very excited people. We're just walking through the line, talking to them about why they're here and why they support Trump. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, the love button, and make sure to share and follow all of our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you so much.
Can't forget the love button. We got it up.
There's bigger things than like. You gotta love it, you know? Oh yeah.
I'm a little static.
Trump 2020! 4 more years!
Great.
8 if we're lucky.
Thank you so much for joining us again this early morning, Breitbart. We are joined here with some more Trump supporters, bright and early in the cold. If you guys could just tell us why you guys are here, why do you guys support Trump so much that you're bright and early and in the cold for tonight's rally?
Oh man, he's just done a lot.
We don't agree with the Democratic Party, right?
Right.
Yeah. Second Amendment.
We like his support for law and order. We
Law
like his
and order.
voice for the police.
We back the blue.
And I think he's really for the country, making it a better place.
Yes. I want what I had as a child, and for my grandchildren and my children.
Now, you have the thin blue line, and we've seen a lot of violence, I mean, still going on in America's cities, but even here kind of close to home in Minneapolis. What are your guys' thoughts on that defund the police movement and all of that?
It's actually embarrassing. It is embarrassing.
And I know a lot of people in law enforcement, you worry about them and stuff, so, you know, you got to back them 100%. Safety is a big concern, you know. Kids growing up, grandkids coming up. It's important, definitely. So.
Do you guys like how Trump has handled the violence and protests?
His hands are tied. It's all run by Democrats, so he can only do what he can do.
Right.
But if he gets in office on November 4th, I think he will do what he needs to do.
And what we don't like is how the Democrats have failed even to acknowledge that this is going on. And it's going on for days and days, and people are getting hurt, police are getting injured, and they say nothing.
What are your guys' thoughts on candidate Biden and his campaign? How is he doing there?
I feel sorry for him. I think he is being manipulated, and I can't believe his wife is letting people run him. I mean, you know, use him like this. I think it's very sad.
Yeah.
It really is sad. Yeah.
He won't be in office in a couple
No,
years.
no. I mean, there's somebody else that's behind everything. Absolutely.
So what are your thoughts, I mean, on Kamala Harris? Because, I mean, if he isn't able to make it through the first term, she will be president. Now, what are your concerns? Because she is seen as a little bit more left than Joe Biden, or as they try to label that.
Goodbye, America.
Yeah. She would definitely be bad.
Right.
Bad news.
Very bad news.
For, yeah.
She didn't even do
well.
Being as liberal as
No.
she is in California, that's a scary
Nobody
thing.
likes her in California, from what I heard.
Well, thank you guys so much for chatting with us. We very,
Thank
very
you.
much appreciate it, and hope you guys have a
Curious. We have a lot of money
USA! 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 What video are you from?
Breitbart.
What?
Breitbart?
Oh, Breitbart. Oh, okay. Not so much.
That's right. The non-fake news.
Yes. The non-fake.
Breitbart, smile.
Don't Trump. Exactly.
They got VIP.
We're speeding. Rules are rules. I can't let you go.
I've been up on the
There isn't one. Unfortunately not.
So who are you guys with?
Breitbart.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice, sweet.
The gasoline is ruined.
Awesome. So we have some very dedicated Trump supporters. I'm going to let them say where they came from all the way from.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. And then what compelled you guys to drive all the way up here to Bemidji, Minnesota?
Well, it looks like he's going to hang out in the upper Midwest. So if you want to go to a rally and you're from Kansas City, you're going to have to drive.
It's actually the closest to us, believe it or not, like 12 hours away, the closest to us. So it's his birthday next week. And I'm like, hey, how about for your birthday? We run on up to, we didn't realize how far up it was. Minnesota, that's like 3 states away. Okay, we'll just run on up there. And then we looked at the map, we're like, this is like Canada, basically. Yeah, we'll just take a weekender to Canada. It's worth it, though.
Yeah. So since it's worth it, why do you guys support Trump? What are some things that really garner your support for him?
Well, we're middle class voters. You know, and we're the people who got abandoned for years, and not just by Democrats. I mean, Republicans abandoned us too. So, you know, it's nice to have somebody who actually cares about us. And you know, the thing that we know, or at least I know, is that Trump actually cares. I mean, it's obvious. He's done things that have helped me. Yeah, he helped me. I'm going to stand up and help him.
Pro-life. That's why. Pro-life.
USA!
USA! USA! USA! USA!
Yeah. And so what do you guys think of candidate Biden? How is he doing? Do you guys believe the polls that are coming out saying that he's in the lead?
I mean, it'll be what it is. I just decided I'm pot committed to Trump, and then whatever happens after the election happens. I'm not going to worry about it.
No, I don't believe any of that. Like Trafalgar polls were the closest last time, and so that's who I've been watching, and they pretty much have either dead even or Trump up in all of these swing states. So, no, I don't believe it.
And nobody's told me what Biden supports yet either, so I don't know what his platforms are. I don't know what he stands for.
High taxes, abortion.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like, you know, just he doesn't really have a platform. He has the left-wing platform. He has a Bernie Sanders platform.
He'll be whatever they tell him to be. That's
He
what
will
he
be
has.
whatever they tell him to be.
So what are your guys' thoughts on the media and just kind of how they treat, you know, Trump versus Biden? I don't know if you watched, there was a town hall last night.
It
Many
was
people
terrible.
are
Let's do it on the way up.
Okay, and then I mean, Trump had his town hall as well, and just comparing the questions that each of them got. What are your thoughts on the bias there?
It works like this. Mr. Trump, why are you the devil? And then Mr. Biden, why is Mr. Trump the devil? It's pretty much that's all I need to see, you know.
Well, I mean, they give him the easy questions because he can't answer the hard ones. I mean, they have to even give him the answers to the easy questions. Here's our easy question, and here's the answers. Now read it off the teleprompter. And half the time, he can't even do that. So, yeah, it's totally not fair. But we don't care. We don't pay attention to that. So.
Now, a lot of people are saying that, I mean, there was a poll that came out even saying that people believe that Joe Biden won't make it through the first term. And if that being the case, I mean, the running mate Kamala Harris would become president. What are your thoughts on Kamala Harris and that possibility?
That's
what do you think,
scary.
baby? You like her?
It's scary. Like, that is way radical. I'm sorry. We didn't sign up for a communist country. No, thank you. No, she's like one of the most radical people in the Congress.
They're going to make president the woman that even Democrats didn't want to be president.
Right.
That's brutal.
Interesting.
Brutal.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys so much for chatting with us. We really, very, very much appreciate it.
Sure, we'll have fun. No, it's just fun.
All right, guys, I'm going to switch the battery real quick, so don't go anywhere. Stay on the stream. You're going to see it go black for a few seconds. I'm just switching the battery. Stand by.
Awesome. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Allie J. Nikolai. Behind the camera is the wonderful Matthew Purdy. We are live here the morning of President Trump's Bemidji, Minnesota rally, which is happening later this evening. And we already have people here. I mean, kind of before the sun came up, we were up very early and there was already people here and ready to go. We're just going through the line, talking to some Trump supporters about why they're here so early, why they support Trump, and their thoughts on just everything that's going on in the country. So thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to like and share this video. Actually, love and share this video. We also always appreciate your support for Breitbart News. So stay tuned.
That's what I was just wondering, like,
Would you guys? Great. So we have some young Trump supporters, also very fun to talk to. If you guys could tell us where you guys are from and why you guys are here so early in the morning.
We're from Aiken, Minnesota. We're here early because obviously if you see the line's pretty long, we got to try to get on the first couple shuttles, make sure we conserve a spot. See our president.
And why do you guys support Trump so much? What are some things that he's been able to do?
He's done a lot for the country in his 4 years. A hell of a lot more than Biden in 47, that's for sure.
And what do you guys think of Joe Biden, the candidate?
Sleepy Joe?
How that's going?
2 aneurysms. I don't even know how he's running.
So, as young people, do you guys get a lot of flack for supporting Trump?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
especially at our school. Yeah.
What are some stories that has happened?
Racist and
Getting called
name
racist.
calling. Name calling.
It's out there.
Is it bad on social media?
Very bad.
And do you think with that, I mean, you guys are here, there are some other younger Trump supporters as well. Do you think the younger generation is warming up to more of the conservative belief?
For
You
sure,
do?
yes.
Yeah.
Especially with everything that's going on recently, with the riots, protests. People are waking up. People are starting to realize.
And what are your guys' thoughts on that movement of defunding the police and all the riots?
I think it's crap. I'm actually a police officer's child, and when people say all cops are bad, it's not true. One bad apple doesn't mean you throw away the whole bag.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for giving your input. It's very, very fun to have you guys here, and I hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Better take Grandma. They've been circling forever.
Or your hair's too right. It's so funny. It's like you want to get money out of politics.
Look for a crowd somewhere.
Facebook keeps taking it back. So you want everybody that's conservative to just get off it.
You just got that.
I worked my ass off all my life.
We came in.
I didn't understand why
Why couldn't it be one-on-one?
one-on-one anyway. So I don't know why they ever said it.
Oh, that one's there. Anybody else?
Oh, yeah.
Is JD?
Are they coming though? Are they coming?
Great. So we got a nice big bunch of Trump supporters here live with Breitbart News. If you guys could tell us why you guys are here so early and why you guys have the support for Trump that you do.
Well, number one, this is my 5th rally, so I know to get here early or you won't get in. And we support him because we love him. Simple as that. We like his policies, and you know, I don't know.
He's fighting for my faith, my freedom, and my family, and protecting us.
And he's just like my uncle. He's not perfect. He doesn't he doesn't say all the right things, but his heart makes him do all the right stuff. That's an American. There's nobody perfect here. Anybody want to run around and it's funny how the left will say, you know, oh my God, you guys were supposed to all be considerate of each other, and we're supposed to, you know, understand why somebody might be whatever, but then they turn around and say he's orange and stuff. That's so petty, that's so childish. This is America, and we're all a bunch of imperfect people, and we're being led by an imperfect person, but he's been touched by God, and he's leading this country, and we know that he's doing what's best for our children, and that's America, and that's American. And we don't fall for the latest little thing that's supposed to divide us. We don't do that. We stand strong.
He's done more than 3.5 years of government than anybody else has in a lifetime of government. He can't be bought, and that's the best thing I love about him. He's a businessman before a career politician.
I like the Second Amendment.
The Second Amendment, right.
One thing I want to say too, the Liberals candidate is about 100 miles east of here. Why don't they go over to Duluth, the protesters, and go see their candidate, you know, instead of interfering with our rally, you know? So I think that's terrible, and you know, go and endorse or go see your own candidate.
And women are for Trump.
Yeah! So with, you know, candidate Biden going, now I guess leaving and going out to campaign, what are your thoughts on him, on his candidacy, how that's going?
Well, he's sleeping half the time. Who knows, you know? But he changes his tune every other day. You don't know what to believe from him. And it's so obvious. He would never make 4 years if he did get elected. It's Kamala Harris who you'd be voting for, not Joe Biden. So keep that in mind.
Biden.
And then what are your guys' thoughts on that pick for Kamala Harris?
It's an extension of the Obama administration. What they're trying to do is cover their tracks right now. They're right now, the last 8 years has been a farce. They've deceived us. They've hidden us. They've hidden all their stuff. They're trying to slide it under the table. And they know if Harris gets in as a former prosecutor, she'll know just how to slide all that right down the tubes and hide all of their corruption. That's why they appointed Harris. That's 100% why.
Now we're seeing a lot of,
We know that Black Lives Matter, and we know all lives matter, and they call that an insult. But we know that all Black Lives Matter, but the organization has been embraced by the Democrats, and the organization wants the destruction of America. They're for the elimination of the nuclear family, no borders, no police, no prisons, abortion anytime, anywhere. I mean, they've gone crazy. our country will disintegrate. And now the Minneapolis
That's a prime example.
Good example. They vote to defund the police. They have 100 fewer policemen there now than they had before.
And now they're
wondering what's the trouble.
There's an increase in
Does it take brains or what?
It just doesn't make any sense.
But I think it's part of the liberal mindset. The liberal mindset has this idea that we are basically good, and if you have the right education and the right this and the right that, then everything will be wonderful. Well, that's not how it is. We're flawed creatures. We have things in us that are terrible, and we have to have God help us straighten that out. And Black Lives Matter is godless, and they've been embraced by the Democrats, and that's horrendous. We'll have battles in our cities. My wife is very uncomfortable, and I am too, of going to downtown Minneapolis right now. We just avoid it. How many businesses, how many conventions will not go there? How many businesses will leave? How many people will leave? I have a nephew that is in a high-rise apartment that lives right downtown, and they're trying to move, but they can't sell their place.
It's a disgrace in America when you fear for your safety because of your political beliefs. That's just ridiculous. We live in America. We have a right to the First Amendment, free speech, and to choose the candidate of our choice without intimidation, threats, whatever. And apparently someday, it could come to a boiling head because people won't take it forever.
And CNN should be accountable for always lying about everything. And then other people that don't watch anything but that, they're getting the wrong impression.
Well, what are your thoughts, I guess, on more of that media bias? If you guys tuned into, the town hall, both with Trump and last night with Biden, just some of the people that I followed are talking about the differences in the difficulty of questions between the two candidates. Just overall, what are your thoughts on the media bias with candidate Trump and candidate Biden?
It's so obvious. Anybody else want to talk? It's so obvious.
It just isn't news.
Yeah.
What we get from CNN, CNBC, NBC, ABC, CBS, it isn't news. And unfortunately, even PBS is tainted. Fox, there's a lot of that's biased for sure. There's no question, but they have news. They have news that gives both sides. That there's several programs that are really news oriented. But the other companies, the others are just not doing that.
So are you guys from Minnesota, or did you guys travel at all? From Bemidji. Awesome.
Black duck.
We made a 3-hour trip up here
you
this
did?
morning.
200 miles, yeah.
Wow.
How about Williston, North Dakota, all the way
there you
to the
go.
other side?
Nice. Now, with that, do you guys believe that Trump's going to be able to flip Minnesota from blue to red this November?
I think he is, yeah.
Yes.
We have a group that meets Tuesday morning. There was about a dozen of us there, and I asked, how many of you guys are answering polls?
I'm not. I don't want them to know.
So if it wasn't for Minneapolis, Trump would win this state
hands down,
easily. I mean, it wouldn't even be close. Yep.
I drove over 1,000 miles this week for work. I seen 4 Biden signs and probably 700 Trump signs in western Minnesota.
Our Iron Range is notoriously union, and they are notoriously left. And we have had, one of them spoke at the RNC, one of the mayors on the Iron Range. They're endorsing Trump because he is getting work back to the United States of America. He is doing what he's saying he's going to do. And the Iron Range has always been left, but we're seeing more and more every day it go right and go red, and it couldn't be better.
They're embarrassed to show their colors, apparently.
One last question. If Trump does get elected for a second term, what are you guys hoping that he starts to tackle more?
You misspoke. You should have said when he gets reelected.
What are some areas that you really want him to tackle even more?
I want him to get the economy going again, and I want this coronavirus made up, make-believe thing to go away. Let us live our lives. We got thousands of people in line here. You see any masks? I don't. I have one. Just so I can get on that damn bus.
I want them to reinstate law and order.
Absolutely.
And when these riots kick up, he goes in and he fixes it. And right now, because you asked the media, why do we perceive them as being biased? We sure do. Imagine if he actually just were to do his job and establish law and order right now. He would just be he would be maligned and he would be lied about to the point where his reelection has to happen, and then he needs to establish law and order. He needs to continue on with what his plans are, and America will be great again.
How about you guys? Anything you want Trump to tackle if he gets a second
Law
term?
and order.
Law and order right now is number one.
I want the left media to be held accountable for once.
Yeah.
Because it's and not only that, but our school system it's corrupt with the left. And if you like, there was the two boys that went out onto the football field that had the red line and the blue line flag. They are now suspended from their senior year of football for supporting their fathers, who are firefighters and police officers on the front line. And that was considered political. I'm sorry, but that is not okay at all.
Well, thank you guys so much for
Thank you.
chatting.
What news agency
you.
are you with?
Ow! Your mom's gonna take me. You think that little man? Go find out. She was 10:20. Exactly. Well, we all know that our days were not.
Trump train!
That's what they did in Fargo, but they had set up. And then you can.
We're gonna zig and then we're gonna zag.
The line just keeps getting longer and longer.
What did you say, the mayor
Was there a lot of them? Yeah.
Hey, Mom, I got a call from Wanda.
Yep, there's a trumpet. Yep, official app.
Yep.
Antibody or the whatever the microbe.
Lots of news. Smile away, mate. Smile away.
Trump.
I know a friend.
He's a veteran. Awesome.
You guys.
Here we go. America. You're not with CNN, are you?
No.
But you think this one? Or the expedited or what? 7 inches? What?
All right, finally reached the end of the line. It took a little while. It's just growing rapidly, and they're loading people onto the buses.
What's that?
This is not social distancing.
Minnesota is registered the highest one regular food day. It's in the clean state.
I don't know what it does for you.
Nope, you're good. So we are live out here. The line is actually starting to move, so I think they're starting to shuttle some people over to the airport hangar. But we have a Trump supporter here who's bright and early in Bemidji, Minnesota. Can you explain why you're here early this morning and your support for Trump?
Well, I got a couple of things actually. My work needed to get a tanker endorsement. Okay. So I actually came here because the closest one was either Bemidji or St. Cloud. And I'm a big Trump fan, so I figured get a 2-for-1 deal. Get my tanker endorsement test passed and then go visit our Trump.
And why do you support President Trump? What are some areas that you've been very impressed with?
Just with everything. I mean, he's always spoken his mind. He doesn't let the media tell him what to do. He's just very, I feel like he's for America.
And what are your thoughts? Do you think Trump will be able to turn Minnesota red?
I'm really hoping, because driving up here, I'm from Brainerd. Driving up here, there's a lot of Trump signs. And that doesn't mean anything, but I feel like this year's the year.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Yep.
We very much appreciate it.
Kelly, oh no, foam. And so,
Awesome. If you're just joining us here, I'm Allie J. Nikolai. Behind the camera is Matthew Purdy here for Breitbart News. Live in Brainerd, Minnesota, bright and early this morning, where Donald Trump will be having his rally later tonight. We already have a huge long line that has been forming very early this morning in the brisk 30-degree weather. Very impressive. These people are very dedicated. We're going to continue down the line and talk to some more people about why they're here, why they support Trump, and see what people are up to before they get bussed over to the airport hangar where the rally will be held later this evening. Make sure to like and share this video. Love and share this video on our Facebook. You can also follow us on Instagram as well as Twitter at Breitbart News. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Okay, you know where it says age? You know where it says your age on your license? Just cross that out.
Great.
We love Breitbart.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're here with some more Trump supporters here. If you guys could just explain why you guys are here so early and your support for Donald Trump.
Yeah. best president we've ever had.
Absolutely. You know, he is holding up American values, and, you know, we just feel like this election is really, it's like there's a dam that's going to break. And Donald Trump it's like America, it's like our freedom versus socialism at this point. And he has kept promises. You know, every election, as far back as I can remember, everybody makes promises and they do not uphold them. And he has put America first. He has rebuilt our military. We're a military family. And he's rebuilt the military. He is, you know, he's brought American jobs back. And, you know, that's really important. It's important for our families, for my children, my grandchildren. And we just cannot allow America to become something that, you know, we are the beacon of freedom in the world. And we can't let that go.
So what are your thoughts? I mean, recently we have the peace deal in the Middle East as well as withdrawing troops from Afghanistan. I just want to get your thoughts, just being a part of the military and all of that entails. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I laugh because I've watched pieces on CNN and these other stations that are so left leaning, and they're like, oh, you know, this is not historic. They weren't at war. But Donald Trump did something so different because everybody's before gone to Iran and everybody has appeased Iran, but he did it completely different because he's bringing everybody else to the table, and then he's forcing Iran at some point to have to come to the table. And so that it's significant that he's doing this. It's huge. So instead of giving, you know, billions of dollars to Iran that they buy, you know, weapons with and they fund terrorists with, he's saying, no, we're not doing that anymore. You know, he took out terrorists, you know, he stopped ISIS. He is doing it the other way. And he's saying, no, we're not negotiating with you anymore. We're coming together as a group, and we're going to force you to come to the table. He's done it the right way. I mean, yeah, he's saying, no, America's not negotiating with terrorists anymore. And that's the way we needed to do it. I mean, he's amazing. It's amazing that this has happened. So for them to say this is not historic, oh, yes, it is. It's pretty amazing.
And he's fixing trade relations. I mean, we're
helping veterans in the big city. It's Feed America.
America's going to have what do you call it? A level playing field where it's not going to cost us more to. I can't find the right words.
Yeah. And what are your guys' thoughts on Joe Biden and his campaign and candidacy so far?
Well, they're already talking about the Harris administration. What's with that?
Yeah, well, I think he is nothing but a puppet or mouthpiece right now. He's not their candidate. He's just a figurehead right now for whatever they really intend to do. He's obviously cognitively not all there. I actually have experience with Joe Biden. I worked for Delaware Homeland Security for almost 8 years. Oh, wow. And so I personally, not by choice, but I have worked with him. And everybody says he's such a nice guy. He's not a nice guy. I've seen him behind closed doors. You know, I've seen him say really horrible things. I've seen him say really racist things. And it just floors me that people are still so manipulated by the things that are going on or the things that he says, or that they ignore his record. So he is completely a fraud, but he's really not their candidate. You know, he's just a puppet for them.
And what are your thoughts on Kamala Harris? Since, I mean, a lot of people think that he won't be able to make it through a first term if he's elected. And what are your concerns about her?
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, if you look at her record, I think that she gets behind whatever is needed to get her votes so that she can get into whatever position is needed. If you look at, she's done that ever since she was, you know, in her 20s. The things she's backed, I mean, she has been behind, you know, like the 3 strikes law. She has put
so many African Americans into long-term prison sentences. And then now she goes back and says, you know, we have to stop these things, and it's terrible. And then she comes out and says things like, the age group 18 to 24, they're just stupid. That's why we put them in dormitories. And then in another segment where she's talking to someone else, they say, well, what do you think about lowering the voting age? And then she's all prim and proper, and she's like, oh, well, I think it's something that we really need to look at. Well, sure, because you can manipulate them because you think they're stupid, and you think that they'll vote for you. So I think she's really a snake, and I think she's only looking out for herself, and she will go whichever way the wind blows if it's going to be beneficial to her. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Yes.
We very much appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope you have a good day. Yes. Yeah. Well, we have it. It was sent to us, but it was. I did too. I was on a different road. It was different because I remember last time I was going to go on an analyst, and then I was at work on Thursday. It's cheaper than this room. You follow you guys out there. One of them is hiding it.
That's what you call saving for a rainy day.
Okay, awesome. Well, people, as we got buses coming in and out, loading people up to take them to the hangar, we are also going to be able to talk to them there. So we're going to sign off for our first morning live stream here. Again, I'm Allie J. Nikolai. Behind the camera is the always wonderful Matthew Purdy. We hope that you stay tuned to Breitbart News. All day today we'll be streaming and we'll be talking to more people and getting their thoughts. And so like and share this video, love and share this video, follow us on all our social media, and we'll see you later today. Thanks.
So you folks right here in the 7th District?